Alright, so we did the particular representation of the strong acid, strong base titration in the last video. What I want us to do is actually look at the math involved with these types of titrations and what those actually look like. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just kind of start with the problem. We're starting with 25 milliliters of a 1 molar hydrochloric acid solution and a 1 molar sodium hydroxide solution. Notice we don't have a value of the sodium hydroxide or a volume of the sodium hydroxide, because we are adding this to, we are adding this guy to our acid. So this is going to vary. This guy is not. This is the guy that was in our flask underneath our burette, and so this value is constant. This value is ever changing. So if I wanted to know the pH before this reaction occurred, the first thing I would want to recognize is that I'm dealing with a strong acid and technically a strong base. Now, before any sodium hydroxide is added, the only thing present is my HCl. I have no sodium hydroxide present. So how do I calculate the pH of a strong acid? Well, I just take its molarity, because if we remember correctly, it dissociates completely. So if I have 1 molar HCl, I have 1 molar hydrogen, or hydronium. So if I take the negative log of 1 molar, I'm going to get a grand pH of 0. Okay, so no big deal. Now we start getting into a little bit trickier calculations, because now we have to start considering volumes are additive here. And this is where things do get a little bit more moving parts. I don't want to say it's harder, because it's really not harder. It's just more moving parts that you have to keep track of. And if you don't keep track of it, you'll start feeling it pretty quick in a hurry. You'll start having issues. Okay, so I'm going to move this down just a little bit. So let's say we add 10 milliliters of sodium hydroxide to our hydrochloric acid solution. The first thing we have to do is recognize that there is a chemical equation, or chemical reaction, that's happening here. And this is not equilibrium. Anytime an acid reacts with a base, we assume it reacts completely. So we're not going to worry about equilibrium or anything like that. We're just going to figure out, okay, who's left over after this reaction occurs? And then how is that species going to affect the pH of my system? So in this case, we're going to do what we did with our buffers, which I call a stoichiometry table. So we start with a 1 molar solution, and we have a 25 milliliter. So if we were to calculate our mole value here, we would end up with 0.025 moles of hydrochloric acid. And we're going to end up with 0.010 moles of our sodium hydroxide, because 10 milliliters would be 0.01 liters times 1 molar. Now keep in mind, these calculations can be a little bit more complex, because we may not be dealing with a 1 molar solution. We may be dealing with a 0.33 molar solution, or whatever they have. Okay, from there, we recognize that sodium hydroxide is our limiting reactant, so minus 0.01, minus 0.01, and we're left with 0.015 moles of the hydrochloric acid, 0 sodium hydroxide. As usual, we're not going to focus on the water. And then sodium chloride, technically, yes, we have an addition of 0.1 molar. So we have 0.1 moles, not molar, sorry, moles, once everything's said and done. But it's important to recognize, because these are conjugates of a strong acid, strong base, these guys are not affecting pH. They will with a weak acid, weak base. In other words, if this was a weak acid or weak base system, we would probably have a buffer at this point in time, because we would have the conjugate and the weak acid left over, or possibly the weak base and its conjugate left over. But in this case, because it's strong, we're just going to ignore it. So the only thing technically affecting pH at this point in time is the hydrochloric acid. Now, to find pH, we need molarity. Well, how do we calculate molarity? Molarity is moles over liters. So we started with 25 milliliters. We added 10 milliliters. So our total volume at this point in time is 0.035 liters, which is going to give us a grand total for our new molarity of 0.4. I'm going to write it over here. 0.43. We'll stick with, looks like actually 3 sig figs and everywhere I'm looking. So our molarity of our HCl is going to be 0.429. And of course, from there, I can just take the negative log of it, because it's just a strong acid. So our pH for this guy is going to be 0.368. Okay, so no big deal. Pretty easy. We have a little bit more, or less acidic solution, I guess I should say. So let's keep going. And I'm just going to move all of these down so we have plenty of room to work. Now let's add 12.5 molar. Now, hopefully, what we recognize is that 12.5 compared to our 25 that we started with is half our value. This is actually called a very specific name. It's called the halfway point, or it's called the midway point, or the half equivalence point. And all three of those names can be used. So anything that means about half of it has reacted is half of our equivalence point. And this has got a very, very important analysis tool used on the multiple choice section on the AP exam that we'll talk about with weak acids and weak bases. It doesn't with strong acids, strong bases as much, so we're not going to focus on that per se, but let's just focus on the math here. And what I'm going to do, just for ease sake, I am resetting all of this. I am pretending we have not added any sodium hydroxide, because if I do, I have to recognize the amount I've added is 2.5, and then I have to figure out how much hydrochloric acid was left over after the first set of reactions. In my opinion, it's easier to reset and pretend like we've had nothing react. So I'm going to go back to my original mole value of 0.025, and this guy's mole value is now going to be 0.0125 versus our 0.01. And again, you could use your final volumes here, or your final mole values, but you would have to recognize that we're not adding an additional 12.5 from the 10, we're just adding an additional 2.5 from the 10. So this is one of those reasons I like to just start over. I feel like it gives us a little bit cleaner slate, and it allows for our math to be a little bit more straightforward for me personally. But you can kind of do however you want to in that case. Either way, sodium hydroxide is still our limiting reactant. So we're going to have 0 sodium hydroxide left over, and we're going to have that 0.125 moles of the hydrochloric acid. So notice this is, again, half of that value. And again, we're not going to care about water, and in reality, if we really want to care about the sodium chloride, we can, but we don't need to in this case because, again, he's not going to affect our pH because he's a conjugate. A strong conjugate, or a conjugate of a strong acid, strong base. So we're not going to really worry about him. We will worry about him if he comes from a weak acid or weak base. From there, again, I'm going to calculate my pH. So I'm going to find my new molarity, which now I have to recognize that I started with 25 and I've added 12.5. So my new volume is not the 35 that I used up there, but 0.0375 liters. So 0.0125 divided by 0.0375 gives us a molarity of our acid of 0.333. So we take the negative log of that guy, and we get a pH at this point to be 0.477. So again, a little bit more acidic. And that halfway point plays a very big role once again when we are dealing with weak acids and weak bases. Right now, it's not super duper important. Okay, so now our next step is now we're going to add 25 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. Well, we started with 25 milliliters of hydrochloric acid, and they're both 1 molar. So guess what we've hit here? We have hit the equivalence point. Okay, which essentially means we have completely reacted both species. So again, I'm going to hit my reset button. I'm going to start all over, and I'm going to pretend like nothing has reacted at this point in time. So I have 0.025 moles of this, and now I also have 0.025 moles of this guy. Again, we're not going to care about water, and 0 of here. Well, they're both going to react completely because it's a 1-to-1 mole ratio, and I have equal mole values. In other words, there's no limiting reactant in this particular point in time. So I'm going to have 0 hydrochloric acid, 0 sodium hydroxide, and 0.025 moles of my salt left over. Again, this plays a pretty significant role when we are dealing with our weak acids and weak bases because the conjugate will affect pH, but this guy does not affect pH because he's a conjugate of a strong acid, strong base, meaning he doesn't react with water to produce anything. So the only thing actually left in solution that does affect pH is our water that we don't usually care about, but we have to care about here. He is, in technicality, our strongest species in terms of pH values, because remember, he is going to dissociate into hydrogen and hydroxide, and he's the only source of hydrogen and hydroxide based off of Kw. Well, our concentration of hydronium, our hydroxide, is 1.0 times 10 to the negative 7th at 25 degrees Celsius. So our pH is 7 here. Okay, so let's keep going. And I'm going to skip one of these steps because in reality it's the same basic idea. I'm just going to do this 0.357. So let's say we go past the equivalence point is what this is called. And past the equivalence point means we've just added more than we actually need. So again, I'm going to hit my reset button. And I'm going to pretend like nothing has reacted. And that means I started with 0.025 moles of this guy. Now I'm going to have 0.0375 moles of this guy. Don't care about water. And 0 sodium chloride. Well, now our HCl is actually our limiting reactant. All of it is going to react, and we're going to be left with sodium hydroxide in solution versus hydrochloric acid in solution, which means what happens to our pH here? It means we end up with a basic pH versus an acidic pH. So same idea. We get our molarity, which is simply going to be our moles over liter. So we have 0.0125 divided by the fact that we started with 25 and 37.5 was added to it. So we have a grand total of, sorry about that, 62.5 milliliters, or 0.0625 liters is what I should have. So 0.025 divided by 0.0625. And we end up with a molarity of our hydroxide ion in this case to be 0.20 molar. So when I take the negative log of this value, I'm going to get a pOH of 0.699. 14 minus that answer is going to give us a pH of 13.3, which we actually saw in the last set. So in reality, yes, a lot of steps. Are you going to do every step every single time? No, not at all. If you do, and you won't, you would probably do a couple steps. So you would do maybe the halfway point and the equivalence point, or you do the initial and the equivalence point, or whatever it happens to be. You're going to have different points that you're going to do. You're not going to do every single point because this is very time consuming and very tedious. And remember, you're already taking a very time consuming exam in the first place, but this is something we would expect to see anywhere on the multiple choice or technically the free response. And yes, you can see this on the multiple choice very readily. So one of the things you guys saw on the last portion or on the last review that I gave you is it might say we have, on one of the multiple choice sections, we have a 1 molar solution of HCl, and let's say we have 50 milliliters of it, and we add a 1 molar solution of 25 milliliters sodium hydroxide. And you were supposed to calculate the pH, and I told you we were going to worry about this in the next unit, which is where we're worrying about it now. So how do we do this? The first thing is we have to recognize which species is our limiting reactant, which of course is going to be our sodium hydroxide here. So we have 0.025 moles, and again, I can do this math in my head because it would be a multiple choice problem. 0.05 moles of this guy, which means I have 0.05 moles of this guy left over. And I would divide that by my volume, which would be 0.075 liters, which is going to give us somewhere around the range of just below, and this is a little bit harder to do without a calculator, but you'd have to kind of to ad-lib it, but essentially we're going to get around 1-ish is our molarity. It's actually going to be a little bit less than that, obviously, because we're dividing by a bigger number, and you can actually do this a little bit easier than I just did, where you actually end up with essentially 2 divided by 3. If you think about it, this would be 2/4, this would be 3/4. So 2 divided by 3, which actually gives us 0.667 if you guys know your ratios. But either way, it's around 1 molar. So that means our pH is going to be around 0 because it's HCl that was left over. If this was sodium hydroxide left over, we'd have to recognize that our pH would actually be closer to 7 because our pOH would be closer to 0. So that's, again, one of those common problems that you would see on the multiple choice questions. All right, guys, that's it for strong acid, strong bases. What I want you to do is check this guy out. This is a weak acid, strong base, and we'll come back and look at this in the next video. Thanks.